Okay, assuming that you're able to run this cell without an error, I'm going to let it be down there, and I just want to show you a couple of things. First off, co-rev count is way too much, so let's just call it co. Got it? Co. Let's just call it co. Now this is, you might guess it's an empty set, but it's an empty dict. Now our goal here is going to be able to build up a dict from data. Once we've built it up, we can do some of the things we did in the first half, which are look them up, look up a given value, and loop through keys and values and print, and also sort them and print. But first, in order to get a dictionary, we're going to build one up from data. So you can imagine that those dicts that we saw that had planetary names or city populations, they were in a table before. And we had to build up that dictionary by looping through, you see, and building the dictionary. So we have to know how to build up a dictionary from empty. Same way we did with building up a list. We're now going to build up a dictionary. So let's set a key value pair in the dictionary. Here's the syntax for that. CO, new key, or let's say A, equals 1. CO, B equals 2. Print CO. I don't know what could be clearer than that. We just added one pair, a second pair, and now we're looking at the dict with the two pairs. Now the syntax is what gets everybody all confused, so it's not easy. Most people want to see a method like append or add. Question? It's true. It's true, but not an empty set. So it's true that they share brackets. And this is what a set looks like when we've initialized a set. And this is what a dictionary looks like when we initialize a dict. So you can see the difference in syntax, right? They're both curly braces, but a set has item, comma, item, comma, item, and a dict has key colon value, comma, key colon value, comma. Okay. But if you say empty, and that's a great observation, it's an empty dict. So that means that I can't create an empty set that way. I have to do it that way. That's the only way to do it. Good. Yeah, good eye. So here we are adding key value pairs to the dict. By the end, we look at the dict and we see that it has two pairs. Perfect. Perfect. Now let's see if we can meditate on this syntax for as long as it takes. Where's the key in this syntax? That would be A. Where's the value? That would be 1. This is not like appending to a list or adding to a set. Those are methods, and it would be great if we could use a method for this. Unfortunately, what we're looking at is the traditional syntax for manipulating dictionaries, and it's the traditional syntax in Python as well.
In previous versions.
And in previous versions, sure. Yeah. There is a method called update, but it's not designed for adding a key value pair. It's designed for connecting or combining two dictionaries. This is how we do it. And maybe we ought to compare that to the syntax for getting a value, because it's going to look the same. I mean, look at that last line. CO subscript B. CO subscript B. Now, how can we know that this line, COB equals to, is adding a key value pair? And val equals COB means reading the value for that key. Well, I mean, I think you know what direction assignment goes, right? It goes from right to left. You'll say this equals that. Let A be equal to 1. The way to read this is, in the dictionary, let A be equal to 1. In the dictionary, let B be equal to 2. The way we read this is, let val be equal to the value for B in the dictionary. So compare those two. Add the key value pair. Let B be equal to 2. In the third line, let val be equal to the value for B, which is 2. You just assign from right to left. B equals 2. Val equals 2. What do you think? Actually, I probably a little bit remiss, because so far we were just saying print CO subscript key or print CO subscript B. But you know, you can assign it. And a lot of times we will. We'll assign it to a variable and then use that variable. So you don't have to print it directly. Just assign it to a variable name. Okay, questions? All right, let's keep in mind this syntax. And I want you right now to read with me the different parts, because there are 3 parts here. First is the name of the dictionary, because we're setting something in the dictionary. We're adding a key value pair. So the name of the dictionary. Then we have the key that we want to add. Then we have the equal sign and the value that we want to have. So there are, there's extra syntax, but there are really 3 parts: the name of the dictionary, the key, and the value. Let's burn this into our head. Let me ask you this. Let's say I had a variable called K, and it was C, and a variable called V, and it was 3. How could I add C and 3 to the dictionary? Could you do that right now using K and V? You could do it mentally, or you could type it out. See if you could type it out. Remember, it's dictionary subscript key equals value. So use K and V to add the pair C3 to the dict. Use K and V. And don't forget that your dict is named CO. You ready? It's going to be, follow the syntax. It's dictionary name, subscript, Where's our key? It's K. Where's our value? It's V. Just trying to notate on the right what's happening. We're adding A in 1, B in 2, and then finally C and 3. But we're using variables. We're using variables in this case, K and V. Any questions? All right then, let's take this to the bank. Go ahead and copy one of your lines. Let's put it right up here. Again, I want you to, oh, we've got our CO. I guess we gotta comment out all of this. Or we can make a new dictionary. Can we make a new dictionary? Let's make a new dictionary. We'll call it, what are we gonna do? We'll make the company the key. So I'll call this co-rev. Now, I've really got to change this because I don't want to add too many things at once. I'm going to do this. I'm going to skip over this part, and I'm really sorry that you have to type all this stuff. So I would prefer you type this so that we not use the multi-target assignment, because I should not be introducing this and this new concept at the same time. We should probably show you what's in this file, but I can just give you a little notation here so you can see it. Guess we better strip our thing. Now maybe we should just begin by just printing company and revenue. I'm going to get rid of my other print statement. Hang on. Haddad's 239.50, Westfield 53.90. I guess it's a 50. The store 2011.50. You like I'm taking, is this going too slowly? Are we having fun? You all seem pretty engaged. What did I do here? I'm doing the standard thing that we've done before. Reading the file line by line, splitting the line into items. You can see what the items are. You can see what type of object we have in items, right? Square bracketed list. It's a list of items. I'm taking the first item and the third item, making them company and revenue. I was doing that before with the multi-target assignment, but there's no point in adding that now. We can look at that later. And when I print company and revenue, I'm seeing each line of the data of just the company and the revenue. So I'm getting the Haddad's and the 239.50. I'm seeing the Westfield and the 53.90. This is from each line. For each line of the file, get the company and revenue from that line. You can go and open the file if you want to look at it. It's a simple file. We've probably looked at it before. It has companies and states and revenue values. And we're just going line by line and we're isolating the company and the revenue, that's all. But now, if we have a bunch of company names and we've got some value associated with each one, then we're going to want to build a dict out of them. That's obviously where we're going with this, right? I have a dict called corev, which is empty. Now, this may remind you of other programs we've written in the past 2 weeks. Start with an empty container, loop through and add to the container, and then afterwards take a look at the container. Start with an empty thing. We started with an empty list the last time. Loop through and add to the list, then do stuff with the list. Or start with a counter, loop through and increment the counter, and then look at the results of the counter. This is the summary algorithm. Start with an empty thing, add to it as we go, and then look at it. We want to add to it now. We want to add each pair to the dict. And how do you add to a dict? This is how you add a key value pair to a dict. It's dictionary name, key, and value. Now when you translate this, you have to remember, it's not going to be co, and it's not going to be a. What's the name of our dictionary? It's called corev. That's the name of our new dictionary. Where is our key? I would like you to make the company the key. Where is our value? Let's make the revenue the value. Go ahead and replace the print that I have here with adding to the dictionary. And then we have one last thing to look at. We'll do this quickly. I'm really spelling it out here. This is the first homework assignment, but I'll ask you to do with some new data. Let's make a lookup. Let's make a lookup. Let's be able to look up the revenue value for Westfield, or the revenue value for Haddad's. Let's make a lookup. Dict name subscript key equals value. Ready? Dict name subscript key equals value. But I guess, since we've got that pesky new line, and since we really want it to be a float value, I'm going to convert it to float. That wasn't necessary for our purposes. Now, did you put this outside the loop? My cousin would go, that's a rookie mistake. My cousin. My cousin Jack. I haven't really talked about my cousin Jack. What a character. Sorry, I cannot make this work somehow. Okay.
Are you guys close?
Huh?
Are you guys close?
Yeah, I've known him for decades, and when I was much younger, he sort of took me under his wing, but then I slowly began to realize that he was out of his mind. And that was the fun of it, you know. He's crazy in a way. Let's put it all on tape, shall we? But he's so funny and infuriating, and he's just such a character. You know, those folks that are clearly fully functional. He totally raised kids, held a job, was a New York City school teacher, and yet he's just out of his mind. Like, he's crazy. But anyway, I don't know. I'd have to give you examples. Anyway. So now, did you put the key value pair adding outside the loop? Don't forget, we're looping, and as we loop, we're adding pairs. So if you put it outside the loop, you're only going to see one pair, and it's going to be the last line of the file. Remember, it's 3 parts to this algorithm. Empty container before the loop, add to it while we're in the loop, and then afterwards we'll take a look at it. Are you seeing the dictionary and it grows? Let's print the dictionary. Go ahead and print the dictionary right now. Let's test you. Let's do a self-test. Go ahead and print the dictionary after this line. I'll let you do it. Print it and then run it. And we really have to get to this next part. Now the question is, are you seeing a dictionary with 1 pair and then one with 2 pairs and then one with 3 pairs and then one with 4 pairs? That's what you would see if you print corev in here. What's the problem with this? It's printing it out as we're building it. So then what's the solution to that? We have to take it out of the loop. So we only see it when it's all done. And now we've successfully built up a dictionary from a file. We chose from each row 2 items, the items that were important to us. And then we made those 2 items part of the pair. Key and value. Remember, there are 3 parts to this assignment. Dictionary name, key that we want to add, and value that we want to add. And then at the end, and this is the last part of the homework, if you wanted to look up a value, maybe I want to look up Dothraki fashions, still funny, I can, that would be a great thing, right? Everybody would, who wouldn't want to dress like a Dothraki? Then you can look it up. Now we're using what we did before, which was we use the key to get the value. So what I'll ask you to do in the homework is, once you've built up this state names lookup, you'll ask the user to type in a key, and then it'll show the value. But now we have to go after one last thing, and I'm going to go through it rather quickly.